of amendments.
Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law regarding an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Redburn.
I move this amendment be accepted in its present form without qualification.
These are the voices of Virginians. We are debating Congress's amendment on this mild December afternoon, this 15th of December, 1791, debating in the State Assembly in the capital at Richmond. Only one more state is needed now to ratify. Just one more state and the amendment becomes law. The victory is close at hand. Virginia likes these articles. Virginia, the home of Washington and Jefferson, of Madison and Mason. Virginia has fought to win these rights for many years, has waited for this day. This is December the 15th, 1791. Virginia will ratify the Bill of Rights today, and freedom will take hold, take root, begin to burgeon in the rich earth of America. Today, the 15th of December.
Now the people of the states breathe easier. It's all down in black and white. A contract. It's a deal between the future and themselves. Americans don't make a promise lightly, or take it that way either. A promise made by honest men to other honest men is like a hand clasp and a vow. Meant to be understood. Meant to be remembered. Look about the country now. Suspicion thaws like frost beneath the frank diplomacy of spring. The people read the new amendments slowly, pleasurefully, as they'd read a letter from a son just set up in business who'd written home to tell how he was making good.
Oh, well, now that's more like it. Yes, sir, that's more like it.
Got your sleeve in the soup, dear. What's more like what?
Listen to this. Amendment 2. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
That mean you can keep your gun?
That means if somebody gets into office and turns sour on the people that put him there, why, he can't vex us with a standing army the way George did before the war. No, sir, we people of the states, if we got arms, nobody's going to order us to do things the majority of the country ain't voted for. Not without a fight.
Better eat that soup before it gets cold. Shouldn't read when you eat anyways. Put down the paper.
Oh, all right.
That's a good law, ain't it, Jasper?
Yep.
Go on reading it. Why'd you stop?
Well, how can you hear me when you're hammering?
Concentration. Go on.
Amendment 3. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law.
Gives me elbow grease just hearing things like that. Makes the old hammer handle easier.
The way this sounds, you'd think we was expecting another war. In a time of war, this says. Why, I thought we'd just been all through that a little while ago.
Why, the more these amendments make us free, the more they'll be hated by those who don't want freedom because it spoils their game. Think nobody's going to try and break us up because we're united and agreed? Some people are just ornery that way. Wouldn't surprise me none if we had to fight more wars.
Why, you mean to say we're maybe going to have to fight all over again to keep our independence? Well, I hope it don't get to be a habit.
I hope it does. Pretty good habit to get into, fighting for your rights. Always somebody waiting for a chance to steal valuables. And if freedom ain't a valuable, I don't know what is.
Yeah, well.
Go on, read some more.
Amendment 4. the rights of the people to be secure in their persons, homes, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath and affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized.
I brought you these, Robert. I grew them myself inside the house. Don't smell much, but they're awful pretty. Everything's going on about the same at the house. Except I'm a year older since I was here last. Guess you don't have to worry anymore, Robert. Guess you can rest in peace now. Looks like it's going to be all right. They didn't trick you, Robert. Looks all right.
The voices of Americans in Maryland, in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, the Carolinas, Georgia. Up and down the little seaboard nation, the voices of Americans together now. Together in a new way, in a strange new way, a way men had never lived together in before. Proud men, unsuspicious, trusting men. They're fighting over, and they're living just begun. They're building, and they're working, and they're singing, just now getting started.
Here strangers from 1,000 shores, compelled by tyranny to roam, shall find amid abundant stores a nobler and a happier home. Rejoice, Columbia's sons, rejoice. To tyrants never bend the knee, but join with heart and soul and voice for Jefferson and liberty. Here art shall live.
Will this song make good its promise? Does this folk tune hold the truth? Shall strangers from 1,000 shores be compelled by tyrannies to roam? Shall they find here, amidst abundant stores, a nobler and happier home? 150 years from this beginning, how much of what is said and of what is sung and what is written down shall still be good? This parchment of the Bill of Rights, with the word resolved so plainly written on it, how long will it endure? Is it a passport to a greater day? Will future generations read it, sanction it, and pass on it? Will children's children live by it, work by it, and profit by it? Look it over. Look it over. It is new. The parchment shines. The text is easy reading. The words are not yet worn with trial and experience. The writing's fresh, the meaning's clear. The parchment gleams in the December sunlight like a burnished shield upraised against oppression.
Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life and limb. Nor shall he be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without...
Let's go ahead 150 years from now. Let's rush headlong, unstopping down the corridors of time. Let's go ahead to 1941. The writing dims. The parchment cracks and curls up at the edges. The splotch of time is on it. And now it's in a case in Washington, D.C. It's in a case behind a pane of special glass protecting it from the light. You see that tourist bending over it there? He's trying hard to make out the writing. He's tracing the rights of persons accused of crime.
Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense.
Where does this tourist come from? Oh, maybe from a place undreamed of when the Bill of Rights was born. A land as far away from Federal Hall as Europe. Oh, California. What lies tonight between that place and here? 4 dozen states without a yard of fenced-in border. 130 million people. People working, people resting up to work some more. People working in a mighty unison to prosecute a war. All right, now let's move along. Let's move among them. Let's hear them living lives and thinking thoughts and giving off opinions. Let's see now what they have to say 150 winters after Richmond. Let's see what happens to the Bill of Rights through their 33 administrations, 77 Congresses, and a half a dozen wars. Has anybody anything to say about the status of men's rights December 15th, 1941?
I have something to say, if you don't mind. I'm in jail tonight, but I'm joining in your celebration and cheering as hard as anybody else.
Uh-huh. Well, if you don't mind my asking,
Well, a trumped-up charge. The old routine in the city. And I'm getting out on bail tomorrow, and when I'm finally tried, it'll be by a jury and in public. And none of this Gestapo stuff. Not that they wouldn't try it if they could, but that little 450-word matter you're celebrating tonight stops them short of that.
Yeah, well, what did they chuck you in the clink for? I mean, what the charge?
Making a speech for the Fusion Party against the mayor. First, we hired a hall, but they took away our permit. Said the building was unsafe under an old fire ordinance. So then we went down to Garrison Square, where no permit is required to speak in public. And within 10 minutes, we were on our way to the police station on charges of blocking traffic, disturbing the peace, and inciting to riot.
Oh, it's a fine thing.
Yes, but listen, we'll beat him. He's scared of us. He's scared the people will find out the truth. And with good reason, because when they do, he's finished. That's why he doesn't want us to be heard.
Uh-huh.
It's only the crooks and the frightened little big shots who need to shut up their opponents. That may work all right in some other countries, but not here.
Yeah, well, how are you going to beat him?
Well, there's such things as rights on our side. And not even the mayor's machine is powerful enough to stop us. We'll fight that fight on every front. Carry it to the highest courts if necessary. And we'll win!
Is this the talk of servile men? Of tamed and gutless and obedient men? Is this the kind of talk you hear from slaves and witless followers? No, not quite. Not exactly. This is what they meant in Federal Hall, and what they voted for 150 years ago today in Richmond. Those 10 amendments are not dusty statutes loafing in retirement. They're a pep talk to the fighters and a fortress to the undefended. They double bar the front door of the home against culprits and searching parties. Stand the drinks for everybody toasting freedom. And of all things, they are not a set of legal clauses, dry and dusty. Although that's Amendment 7, that makes us wonder.
Amendment 7. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law.
Uh-huh. Well, except for that, not like a lawyer's brief at all, but mostly like a kind of a freestyle ode to liberty. 10 verses long.
Amendment 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted.
That's treason in most of your sentiment like that today.
Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people.
Do you notice how many times it says the people? Well, now,